This week on NIntenDomain, in honor of Luigi's Balloon World, we've hidden balloons all over the episode. Good luck finding them.
Stop calling me little one.
Luigi's got some fucking balloons. I don't care.
Welcome to NIntenDomain, episode 109. We're your hosts. I'm Trey. Yeah, Xeodrifter is pretty hard, Johnson.
I'm Faye Fermi Mikowski.
Faye Fermi.
John Deflated Knitter.
Yeah, Fermi sounds like some sort of weird chemical that you use to attract other Jeremes to you.
Or like, I don't know, who's Enrico Fermi? He did something.
Oh, I was thinking about like pheromones, like Jeremones. it will attract the female former of Jeremes to you, in case you want to have other
I have
small
to sing.
Jeremes.
If you've played Faye, you understand why I did that.
Yeah, I watched some of your video. Anyway, we're here from the internet's 10 trillionth best Nintendo podcast out there, NIntenDomain. We're here to talk to you about the news and all that fun stuff. We have John back. He's returned from fighting whatever Galaxy Destroyer he was fighting last week.
I'm back. I saved the world.
Yeah.
I'll tell you all about it, but it would be too exciting and, it would absolutely blow up the podcast, so don't want to do that.
Well, you know what? I do have a question for you that's super exciting that we never found out. Did you get E3 tickets?
Less exciting. I did not.
Oh, okay. Did you? You tried though,
No.
right?
I tried to. So what happened was I got online. It was 9 a.m. Monday, and you had to be right online right at that time.
Yeah.
Right. And I refreshed the page. It was not there.
Yep.
I kept refreshing. 901, 902, 903. Not there. Refresh the page. 904. And out of the 1,000 tickets that were available for $150, I was number 1,349.
In line?
Like in an instant.
Is that what it said?
Yeah, in line.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah, I didn't even.
Not only were they late putting it up, but the instant that it went up, I was number 1,349. I just didn't have a chance at getting those 150 tickets.
I honestly thought that was what was going to happen. Like I checked, I didn't have the money to buy it at the time, so I didn't. But I looked online anyway. I was like, oh, let's see if it's actually available. And I checked at like 11:10, I think, my time, and it was already 250. So I was like, it probably went in like minutes or seconds or I don't know.
It was like a millisecond. It was all gone.
You have to I would say for that sort of thing, I think you have to set up like multiple computers. You need like a team to like constantly try to get the $150 tickets for that, I'm sure.
Yeah. And through some hiccup in my pay schedule, my bank account, I only had enough in the checking account at the moment to get the 150.
Yeah.
I had more on the way, but it just wasn't there. I have other money in savings. I only keep as much in my checking as I need to.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't have enough to do the 250. And then by the time that I did, I thought about it and I really needed to actually move to a bigger apartment, a bigger room so I decided not to do the 250 after all.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't do the 250 if the 150 wasn't there. So that's what I figured. I don't know.
I was really intending to, but I just had some time to think about it and decided to be more responsible, and I got a bigger room instead, so.
But, I mean, the 250 is eternal though, if you decide to get it later, you still can, because it's not going up from there, right?
I'm pretty sure they've sold out by now. I haven't checked.
Completely? Like how many? I thought they had an unlimited amount of tickets. E3.
Last year they sold 15,000.
Yeah, and okay. Yeah, so they might have sold them all out by now.
Yeah, it's
I was just gonna say like, you could, maybe if you decide to do it later, you could get it for 250, but maybe not.
Maybe I'd take a look. And there's always other ways to get into E3. Like I do a lot of brand ambassador work. Well, not lately, but I have done it. That's how I got in the first time.
Yeah.
And you can get paid to go.
Yeah, that
just do a job and wear a t-shirt or something.
I almost went one year because I had a friend who worked for G4 back when G4 was real, wasn't canceled and all that. And and he told me that they always needed people and that I should just call them and see if I could get in there. And he said they always needed PAs for like their whatever. So I was going to call, and I think I did call or I emailed or something, and they never got back to me or whatever. But a camera guy that I work with a lot, he said that he mentioned it. like, cause he had G4 connections, but G4 is gone now. But yeah, back in the day of G4, I thought that maybe I could get in there for a second, but then I'd still have to get down there, and find lodging and all that stuff.
Right. It would have cost you a lot.
Yeah, so I probably wouldn't have been able to afford it anyway. Plus, this was like 10 years ago or something when I had like even less money. So, but yeah, one of these days, I thought about. I was like, oh, I should try to go to E3. But I was like, at the same time, I didn't have enough money to get the ticket at the time, but I had money coming, and it was kind of like, well, I'm not gonna like go over to try to get the ticket. And plus, when it was, I'm like, I'll only get it if I can see it at 150 was how I felt about it, I'm not gonna go for the 250.
Regardless, I'll still go hang out around there. If you've been down to the LA Convention Center at that time, there's always things going on outside. Companies set up booths outside, like across the street sometimes. There's free stuff to go to, or like they'll rent out a bar and have an event at that bar nearby. So there's all kinds of stuff going on. And definitely the whole neighborhood downtown just becomes all about E3. Mm-hmm. So it's still a lot of fun to go hang out at. Last year they had T-Mobile set up a big booth outside. Not a booth even. It's more like a esports kind of event area, like a big concert stage and everything. And so they were playing Injustice 2 and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I saw it
there for free and watch that stuff go on. So it was a lot of fun. I'll do that this year too.
Yeah, I remember you filmed some footage walking around. I think we talked about it in one of the episodes of you walking around looking at shit. I remember seeing footage of Injustice 2 stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's our E3 update. For this.
Yeah, I wanted to try to buy tickets because, like you said, John, if I had gotten a hold of them, I could always resell them. I don't know if you said that. I think we were off camera when you said that, but my job, like the way my job works is I go in and I cook. So when the restaurant opens at 11, which is when they went on sale, I had to be at work. Like I couldn't be there ready to make food. I have to be off my phone, ready to cook at 11. So. It sucked because I didn't have any way to even get on there and try, but I was going to. I had an alarm set and everything.
Yeah, I had an alarm set too.
I couldn't have afforded to fly to LA and take the time off anyway, I don't think, but it still would have been cool to try to do.
Yeah, one of these years, maybe next year or something.
One of these years, yeah.
We'll try to work it out.
It's been right around a year since we went to that Nintendo event because I was looking at the YouTube video of one of them today.
Yeah, it was in February, right?
Yeah, it's been a little over a year. It's been last week I think we hit the year mark.
Yeah, we're getting real close to a year of the Switch, which of course we'll have an episode for that. That'll be our topic for whatever that week that is.
That'll be 2 episodes from now.
Yeah, right? That'll be a couple weeks. We'll be, when was the Switch? When was the exact date? Do you remember? March
3rd, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it was a week before Marten, cause I made a joke about it being Mario Day, or Marten, March 10th, Mario Day. Yep. It's that's when it should be, but I was a week off. So March 3rd, which that'll be Saturday, right? Yeah, cause the 1st is the Thursday. It's next Thursday. So we'll do it.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff online. If you bought a launch Switch and you have anything you want to get fixed on it, your warranty's about to run out.
Yeah. Well, I already got mine fixed once, so I think my warranty was re-upped after that. Cause I sent it in for the card problems that I was having, which didn't really help anything to send it in. But they did break they did fix my Joy-Con, cause I had that Joy-Con issue where the Joy-Con was coming off and it wasn't getting, it wasn't staying. So they did fix that and, haven't had any trouble from it after that. So
I'm terrified of ever sending my Switch in after what happened to Brian Altano and his story.
Yeah. Well, he had a USB-C problem, right?
Right. And he thinks it was because he used a off-brand dock.
Well, that's what they would tell you. That's what Nintendo would always tell you. They even said that if you ever call them about something about Super Nintendo or whatever, they'd be like, did you use a Game Genie or whatever other thing?
Did you use a Mad Catz controller?
Yeah, it's anything. No, really, they're if you use any sort of third-party thing, then blah, blah, blah. Actually, I think back in the day, if you used a Game Genie, it voided your warranty, right? That's what I heard. That they wouldn't even,
I never even knew. We bought both of them used, so they were both voided already.
Yeah, I mean, I had a Game Genie for the NES. But I remember hearing, cause there was a Game Genie for Super Nintendo and then I started hearing about the, void your warranty thing. But yeah, I don't think it even would have mattered. By the time, I didn't have any problems with my Super Nintendo and by the time I sent it in, it would have been, I never had any trouble with it, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's, thinking about that is oh man, all the hours of time in all those games and all the Switch games, that would be, depressing.
Well, yeah, he was saying he had flown all over the country and been on in this last episode of their podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd been on over 50 flights last year with it.
Yeah.
Just imagine all the time he put into those games, and how they're tied in. certain parts of the game are probably like tied in his head to his travels.
Well, there's stuff like, and he mentioned there's stuff like Zelda where like, none of your playthroughs are going to be the same. It's going to be like, you won't ever have that again, like that special stuff that you caught or whatever amount of Octorok eyeballs you have or whatever. And, what they also mentioned, cloud saving being in the, Nintendo, in the Nintendo, internet, service that they're going to have. Well, they said that it should be in there. That's what I meant. Not that it's actually going to be in there. And I was talking with John before we were recording, is what I'd really like them to do is they should do what PlayStation does. Like PlayStation Plus was like the coolest thing ever in that regard. I had PlayStation Plus, and basically what it does is you can like schedule a time, and your PS3 would turn on whatever time you told it to. It would turn on and put all of your saves in the cloud, and like update all of your games, and like sync all of your trophies, and just do all that shit you don't want to do, and like add it and put any like updates or whatever on there on the system. And I set it for like 9 a.m, and it would just turn on and do that. Like it would be really cool if they could make the Switch do that. Where it just turns on, connects to the internet, put your shit online. Like I actually had an instance where I lost all the memory from my PS3, where I lost all the games, and I just downloaded it from the cloud, and it was like nothing happened, And then it happened again, and I didn't get everything back. And I wrote an article about it. It's on NIntenDomain podcast. It's the only article I ever wrote. You can read it on there. But
I think it's the only article we have up.
It is the only article we have. But it did happen later, and I kind of wish I had PlayStation Plus because you put it all back. But yeah, that's really something they should be doing. And this was something that was happening last generation. For the PlayStation 3. So it's like, come on guys, get with it. You can call it like the Lakitu cloud or something like that. Like let's get with the times, man. You can do it on your phone. Like my phone like backs up to the cloud like every fucking day. And I don't even have to tell it to. It just does it. Just saying, Nintendo, get with the times, man. Get to cloud, get to backing that stuff up. I don't want to have to restart on, any of those games that I played a lot of.
I don't either, man. I'm scared. That's why I don't think I'll ever send my Joy-Con in, even though it falls off or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's the first time, and I sent in my Wii twice, like that broke 2 times, and they didn't.
I sent the Wii in 1 time.
They didn't delete it. They didn't delete anything off that. So this is like a rare instance that I've heard about it. So it's like.
They picked like the worst person to have it happen to.
Yeah, to somebody who gets listened to.
Somebody who works
millions of people listen to him.
Yeah. To the whole world.
Yeah, probably not that great for them, be like, oh yeah, we fucked up this system. You'd think that they would go out of their way to try to make it not do that, just because of whatever. Or maybe they're just like, they're like, we got our own podcast. We're cooler than them. Like, we don't care about those guys. No, they got
no power cast now. We don't need them.
Some person's first day working there, and they got that Switch, and they messed it up, and they just feel terrible.
Yeah, I find it really, really hard to believe that there's no possible way for them to hook up whatever sort of crazy machine they have to get the data off of it before they, like they can't even like back it up to another spare Switch they have laying around. I guess if it has to go through the C, the USB-C, and that's not working, maybe, but it's just crazy, like the time that we live in, and there's no way to get the games backed up in any way.
If I lost everything on my Switch, it would take me a while to play it again.
Well, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to
take a long break.
I wouldn't go back to it for years.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to play anymore. Like, you'd just be like, oh. All that Mummy Demastered time. Just wasted.
Those 40 minutes I played Faye.
Yeah. I think you got halfway
40
through.
40 minutes of my life. Gone.
I think you got halfway through the game from what I heard. Yeah, it would really suck. I can't even think of it, and it'd be like, well, some games I'd be okay with starting over, but some, yeah.
I wouldn't really want to work back to hour 210 of Zelda again.
No.
Yeah, well, I have 2 copies of Zelda, and I played the other one a little bit, and I still I still feel like I'll play through it again eventually, because you can always play through it in a different way and have a different experience with it.
I think it would take me maybe 3 or 4 years to want to play Zelda to that extent again. Because I love the game. Because to get that much into it again, yeah, it would be a while.
Well, Jose Otero of IGN, he reviewed it, and he played that game like 3 times.
Really?
Yeah. Like while he was reviewing it, and he played it over and over and over again. Well, he did it where you had to play it differently each time. Like, I think he was trying to figure out how much variety you can with it, and with that game you really can. You could make it a completely different experience the second time around. Like, maybe you want to go to the different dungeons in a different order, or go through the whole game without using a shield or something like that. You could totally do it. Or no swords. You only use clubs or something.
Slappers only.
Yeah.
Slappers only, Zelda.
Well, yeah. I don't think you can't do that. That's not GoldenEye, but it'd be cool if you did. Or the karate chop. Hope you recorded that. Hope you got that on the camera. John smacking his phone or whatever it was.
I did.
Anyway, we're gonna skip the stuff that we bought and talk about it for our topic. I think I said that already, but let's, did we say, any news? Have we gotten the news yet? Any stuff in the news?
What was in the news?
We've been talking about E3 news, about our own personal news here, but is there any, I know the biggest news of the week is, the Mummy Demastered is getting an update today.
It's a pretty big deal.
I actually saw that and I was like, I haven't fully beaten the game yet. I'm still like trying to collect all the extra items and stuff. I think I'm on the last boss. And I saw that like they basically updated and made everything easier. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna refuse to download that update. And I'm gonna play the game on the difficulty that it is now and just not update it. That's what I decided on the Mummy Demastered update. Just because I feel like it's difficult enough to where I feel like, I've done something. It's rewarding when I actually beat the bosses that are incredibly hard and all that. So if I decide I'm going to go to the last boss, and if for some reason he's like super, super hard and I just give up completely, then I'll download the update. But you can't actually play stuff without updating it, so that'll be what I do. But aside from that update, there's the Mario update that came out today, which I don't know if anybody's played that, but Luigi
came out minutes ago, it seems.
Yeah, it was like right before the podcast. It's like, oh yeah, you can go find balloons now with Luigi. Did you guys ever beat the darker side on that game, or the darkest side, or whatever it is?
I never did.
No.
There was one day in particular I spent 5 hours trying to beat that game, trying to beat that level, and it just wasn't happening. Spoilers potential if you haven't played the level yet. The part that I got really stuck at was the part with the bird where you have to flip the bird.
Yeah,
up the panel.
I watched somebody play through the whole thing on YouTube, and I'm not going to say what's after that, but I did see that part, and I was like, wow, I can imagine getting really pissed off about that part because there's no checkpoints through the whole thing. I know you guys had mentioned that before, and it's just kind of like that bird part looked like insane, and it's kind of like they do like a Laser Time, they have like YouTube videos that I watch, and they were doing like a race. They were basically doing a race for the hardest thing of Mario, and they would just like switch their switches back and forth between the two of them to see who could beat it first. And one dude just like ran through it on like his second try, and I was like, wow, okay.
Wow.
That looks, and it was like they made a deal where they're like, okay, you can't practice. We're gonna like, say we're gonna do it now and you can't practice from here till when we do it, or you can't play it, whatever. And then we'll just do it. Cause they both had done it before. And it was like, then they had different colored Marios also, where they had different costumes and they just would switch them, take their Switch and put it in the dock and like switch it from one to another. And we should try doing that sometime. That'd be fun. I never saw anything like that online, but whenever we're in each other's place again, we'll have to try that. Try to do some.
Just switch out the docks with the different outfits. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, just you just switch your Switch in the dock and stream it or record it and put it up or whatever. You could do that. I never got past. I barely even played it. I just played a little bit of it and I was like, nope, and then put it down. So that was what was going on.
I never got to the bird part. I think I must have been in the part. Well, I don't know how much before it, but there's a part with a scarecrow where you have to go up like this weird staircase. You know what I'm talking about, right, John?
Scarecrow, weird staircase. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, I know the part. Yep.
It's a timing thing where you have to get up the staircase or you plunge to your death.
Yeah, that one got me for a couple hours too.
That's as far as I've made it.
Yeah.
I've only gotten to that spot 3 times.
It's one of the scarecrows where you put your hat on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
where it's like the staircase starts to jut out as you progress, and it's a timing thing. But then all of a sudden, the rest of the wall starts to jut out too, and it'll push you off the staircase.
Oh. Yeah, I think they must have skipped that
In fact,
because I didn't see it
depending on where you're
video.
standing when you throw the hat on the scarecrow, it might push you off immediately, which is what happened to me the first time.
Oh.
Right.
Pissed me off so much. I was like, oh, I'll throw my hat on this thing and I'm dead.
Yep.
Yeah. Yikes.
Well, if you want, if you're tired of insanely hard and you want ridiculously easy, there's Luigi's Balloon World.
Yeah, there is. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be harder, right? Depending on who's hitting it. I'm pretty much the only person that had hit a balloon was that I found was John hid one, which I found that one. And, there were some, Japanese people on there as well.
You saw mine?
It did show yours. Well, I mean, what it showed me on the game, it showed, like, it was like, which one do you want to pick? So I picked that one, I think I found it.
I hit a fucking balloon.
I'm not saying you didn't. It just didn't mention that you did. Yeah, it's,
You just hit it too well. Even the game didn't find
what level did you play?
It just was in, New Donk City, cause that's where I was.
Okay. Yeah, I went to Mushroom Kingdom. That's where I hung out.
Yeah, cause it was, it was just wherever I was standing, it's like, oh, here's creepy Luigi with the balloon, getting all Pennywise on you. Being like, here, don't you want a balloon? But
at least we get to see Luigi. Mario Odyssey finally.
Yeah, at least we did get to see Luigi.
Sure. I don't know. I would have rather not seen him.
Yeah.
Than to have him in there as a little balloon guy with the creepy bow tie. Because that just means we're not getting him in any other capacity.
Well, He's
more like Tingle than Luigi.
You can wear a green outfit.
You're right.
Yeah, no, he is totally like Tingle with the balloons. It would have been really weird if they put Tingle in there. They could do the crossover, the ultimate crossover we've always wanted, Tingle and Mario.
Even weirder if they made him like try to be like Mario in this one, where he like had a fake mustache on and a red outfit.
Hey, look, I'm the star.
And he'd be like
That's
weird.
a good idea for a game. They release a new Mario game. And it's obviously Luigi just wearing the red hat, trying to pretend to be Mario, and he doesn't give up the thing the whole time till the end of the game.
And the title, the R is backwards. Super Mario.
Yeah.
Super
I don't know.
bootleg.
I still say, I just wanted him to be in there in the castle, especially when they had the star at the fountain, that special little area in the courtyard. I wanted him to burst out of that star, and then you could suddenly play as Luigi for the rest of the game. I would love that.
Yeah.
But they just didn't take that opportunity.
Well, you just have to wear the Luigi outfit and pretend that it's Luigi in your mind is basically what you have to do. Gotta use that imagination. Even though, I mean, that's video games, you should be able to just see it on the screen. You don't have to imagine that it's like that. But that's what they want you to do, so do it. That's what you gotta do there. Just be like, oh, I'm Luigi now in my mind. Or you could just play like Mario plus Rabbids, which has Luigi in it.
Yep.
And then you can actually play as Luigi. There's like another rumor from Emily Rogers about Smash Brothers. It's not really.
Yeah.
I don't think that's anything to even talk about, but it was in there. She's like, oh, blah blah blah. There'll be a Smash Brothers at E3. It's like, okay. It's like saying they'll show a new game at E3. I mean, I'm not really convinced that there'll be a Smash Brothers soon. I figured if they were going to re-release it, they would have done it by now.
I think they will. I think they'll re-release the Wii one. But my question is, like, when they do that, or if they do that, what do they do with the 3DS one? I mean, because do they make it to where if you have it in the dock, you're playing the Wii U version. If you take it out of the dock, you're playing the 3DS version or something like that? Like, or do they try and like merge the two into one?
Well, they're not that much
somehow
different. They're not that much different. They just have different stages in them.
Yeah.
It's like the only real difference between the two.
I saw someone on Reddit, I think, this isn't an original idea, but they were like, what if there was a 3D Mario All-Stars where it was like the Galaxy games and Mario 64, and then, you know what I mean, all the 3D ones, and then you could throw 3D World and 3D Land on there, because they both fall into that category.
Yeah.
You could also do a new Super Mario Brothers All-Stars with all the 2D ones that they made after the DS came out. So that's how I see that maybe coming out in a collection style, but maybe not, because they know they can sell the individual games if they release them again.
Yeah.
I kind of want them to retire new Super Mario Brothers.
Well, they kind of have.
I think most people do.
I mean, they kind of have. I mean, when was the last one that came out? Was the last one the Wii U one, or was it the 3DS one? I think it was the new Super Mario Brothers Wii U, right?
It was.
Which I really liked that game. I thought that game was a lot of fun. And and what you
I've never even played it.
I was gonna say, don't knock it, John, because that one had a full-on Luigi, like, sequel of sorts, like, update to it that was really cool, too. Like, they had Super Luigi Brothers, where you played with Nabbit and all that. And that game was really good. Like, that Luigi version. That was during that year of Luigi that we had. You know, when the actor who played Luigi died in that year. I don't know. I'm sure I mentioned it before, but the actor from
this is my year. I'm going out on top.
The actor from the Super Show did die during the year of Luigi, which I don't know if that was planned or not, but I don't think it was.
I think it was planned.
I think it was natural causes.
Planned by Nintendo.
Yeah. But I mean, that was during the year of Luigi where you got like
they used their Hanafuda cards to predict it.
Some games that were sorta Luigi-ish. I mean, you did get the new Luigi's Mansion in the year of Luigi. Yeah. And you did get that Luigi update, which was really, really good. And I really liked, I really liked the new Super Mario Brothers game on Wii U, so
I want to try it. I haven't played it.
Maybe I'm in the minority on that, but I thought that game was awesome.
It's the only one I haven't played of the new Super Mario Brothers. Well, it's the only Mario I guess I haven't played besides like the CDI ones. It's really good. It looks really nice. It's a lot of fun to play. You can draw, you can make like stuff to stand on with the controller, which I never did that, but you can press stuff on the screen to make like little platforms appear. I never played any of that stuff, but it is good. It'll probably feel weird to play it after playing Mario Maker so much. Oh, sure. Yeah, true. That's just a skin in Mario Maker. Yeah, but you can't make the levels that they have in there are like way too more complex than you could actually do in Mario Maker. Like there's stuff
never need to make a new Super Mario Brothers again, though, because they can just make new Mario makers, and then people can make infinite numbers of 2D Mario levels.
Yeah, but stuff that they did in the Wii U version isn't possible to make in the Mario Maker. Like, there's certain characters you can't make. There's like a level where you're like on a raft that can only carry like a couple people at a time, so you have to like kind of kill guys as they come, otherwise it'll sink. Like, you can't do anything like that in Super Mario Maker, you know.
Maybe they would like make a new Mario Maker, but then Nintendo would release exclusive levels. Maybe you wouldn't be able to actually design levels like that, but Mario Maker would be the channel through which you get new Mario levels in 2D.
Or they could do it the other way around, where like they release a new game and Mario Maker is like an add-on to it or something. It's like a DLC that you get.
Something like that.
And then you can make your own stuff too. Because you still want them to make the levels, because even though you have infinite levels, a lot of them suck on Super Mario Maker, you know, for the most part. Mm-hmm. Or they're incredibly like difficult.
Most of them suck.
Or they play themselves. I always fell between basically the level's way too hard or the level plays itself and plays a cool song or something. You know, it was really hard to find like that good medium level for Mario Maker towards the end there. So it was kind of like, it's hard to find one that was like Nintendo good.
We had some fun with it.
Oh no, we definitely did. But I mean, I'm saying for like randomly getting levels online, like I had a hard time finding like the happy medium for the level difficulty. Cause like I was like, these medium ones are too easy. So like I set it to hard, and the hard ones are all like troll levels where like you're like, I don't know how to get to this next part, you know, or there's like hidden blocks that you jump and hit and it knocks you in lava or whatever, stuff like that. And then if you set it on medium or easy, it'll be a level that just goes, that you just stand and it just moves through the whole level for you. You know, those automatic levels that people really liked making, which are cool, but they're not that fun to play.
They're more fun to watch.
Yeah.
Which is basically all you do with them.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're neat, but you still want to play a little bit. But, there's like a couple sales this week. I know one in particular Jereme took advantage of, which we'll talk about in our second part of the show. Finally got a hold of that Flame in the Flood game.
Sure did.
$7.50 on the thing. There's like a couple of note. I mean, I mentioned it to you. Actually, I don't think it's on there anymore. I was going to say those Resident Evil games were on sale, and you could finally get them.
$13, huh?
You could get both of them for under 30, but they're not on there anymore. They're gone. It sucks. So I remember when they came out, you said you'd get it for under 30, but now they're gone. But there's like I don't know what else is on there. Skies of Aurelia is on sale. That one was 10 when it came out, so it's probably like 5 now. I did a review of that. I mean,
the Wheels of Aurelia, you mean?
Yeah. I don't know. It's so dumb that it doesn't show you like how much it is if you already bought it. But aside from
there's the one about the old man. It's on sale though, I guess.
The Old Man in the River. What one about the old man?
It's a new release.
Is on sale.
New release about an old man.
It's on sale though, right? It's not on sale.
Butcher.
It's a port of a mobile game.
Are you talking about The Old Man's Journey? For $10.
Yeah,
I saw that. It looked like it actually kind of looked a lot like Night in the Woods in some of the pictures.
It looks like Oxenfree, like the way.
It had like the slopey stuff in the houses and all that. It reminded me of Night in the Woods in that way. And I was like, oh, is this like the old man's Night in the Woods, where like you play in like a classical band or something? You have to go to practice where you do some sort of orchestra thing and play the tuba instead of the bass, you know, but it's the same. In the end, you still have to fight cultists. The end of it.
Instead of like quitting college, you like come out of retirement. And you're like, oh, I'm sick of being retired.
You quit your job. You quit your job that you had at Walmart as a greeter. You decide that you've had enough after you attacked a customer with a bat for no reason.
Yeah. When someone used too many like sanitary wipes to wipe off the cart. You like freak out on them.
Yeah.
You only need to use one to wipe off the bar of the handle part of the cart. They like are wiping off the whole cart with it.
Yeah. Is that game any good? The Old Man's Journey? Like, have you heard stuff about it?
When I found out it was on iPad, I didn't want to play it because I was like, this is just a mobile port. I know other games have been that way.
It won like a whole bunch of awards according to the game. There's like Penny Arcade Expo and like Indiecade and Independent whatever Day of the Devs.
It's supposed to be very like visually arresting. I just don't feel like playing another point and click.
No, I hear you. Right now. There's a really cheap pool game on there too that doesn't look all that good.
No.
And Layers of Fear, blah blah blah. I think the big release of this week is the Pac-Man game that comes out tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
I might get that.
Pac-Man Champion Edition 2 Plus. I'm gonna do nice. That'll be my play of Thursday.
Is that a $20 game? I hope so.
No, yeah, it is. It's 20. I thought it was less, but no, yeah, that'll be my play for Thursday. And then next week is Mulaka, which was on Nindies, on that Nindies Direct, if you remember, which that looked pretty cool. It's like based on some Spanish folklore.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It
Yeah.
looks like it's like Native American looking, right?
Yeah, dive into northern Mexico's breathtaking landscape with Mulaka, a 3D action adventure based on the rich, ingenious culture of the Tarahumara.
Well, I haven't seen anything about that in a while.
Yeah, they only showed some of it for that Nindies Direct, and then it kind of like disappeared, and now it's coming out next week. So that'll be my next week, Thursday stream. So, tune in to twitch.tv/NintenDomain podcast. You can check that out.
Now, you haven't talked about the Doom update. I thought that was pretty important.
Oh yeah, John mentioned that before we were recording, that there's that
was motion controls in Doom.
I thought that there were motion controls in it when it came out.
I don't know, because I never really tried it. I mean, I always play it on handheld mode.
I had no intention of playing it, so I never did. Also, at the end of the month, the Bridge Constructor Portal comes out. Also, side note, I just saw that.
Oh, okay.
But I never had a desire
game on Switch.
Yeah, I never had a desire to play motion controlled Doom, so I never tried it. But I thought somebody had mentioned it on NBC that it was going to be on there. I guess you guys can always try that out, see how badly it controls. Like I didn't even like using motion controls on Splatoon. So I don't think I'd like to do it on Doom, especially because Doom you need to be like kind of pixel perfect in your aiming, and you got to be like real quick about it. I don't know.
Right.
You got to be pretty exact.
The pixel perfect aiming has not worked well for me in the one game I tried it with.
And Splatoon 2, right?
Oh, well, no, I'm thinking of the Portal or the Poly Bridge.
Oh yeah. Hopefully the Portal Bridge game isn't going to control in the same way. Isn't going to have motion pointing in it. Did they ever update that?
I'm not sure.
The Bridge Maker?
I never went back to it. It's still on my Switch though.
Well, it's kind of like a World of Goo. Like I did the same thing where World of Goo had the same sort of pointer on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I already played World of Goo, so I didn't really need to go through it again. But anybody who did play it on the Switch version only, not the Wii version, it's unfortunate. Cause World of Goo is a really good game. It's just not that great on the Switch, because it doesn't have the full pointer ability of the Wii. But if there's not anything else you guys can think of for news, we could take a break and go to our purchases and games we played for the week, for the topic.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, cool. We'll be right back. So, what did everybody get for the week? Did you,
I got all my old games back.
Oh yeah, you got
got them all out of storage, so I have everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How far back does that go?
That goes all the way back to the ColecoVision.
Shit, dude.
So all your like games and all your games and systems and stuff. Is that what you got?
Systems, yeah. I have 3 crates full of games, systems, controllers, all that stuff sitting upstairs. So
describe a crate. What's a crate?
Like a milk crate?
I have like those Sterilite rubber bins.
Yeah, it ain't a crate. That's a tote.
That's a tote.
That's a tote.
Yeah, a tote.
A crate's like, I think of like something you would get like 4 gallons of milk would be a crate.
Like a milk crate is what you're thinking.
I had to go to that, like Indiana Jones storage thing where they have the Lost Ark. I had to get a crate of my games.
Yeah. Where they put it next to a bunch of other things so you can never find it, basically.
But I did find it. And I have it all back now.
And you brought all your stuff in there, and he was like,
"Do you have a TV?
This belongs in a museum." What?
Is your room big enough for a TV?
Yeah, the only thing that I don't have is a TV, so I gotta get a TV.
So you're moving into a bigger room now, right? So you can live with all your new games, or your new old games?
Exactly,
Pretty
all
much.
my new old games.
Is this it? Do you live in one of those places where like, you guys all share a bathroom? It's like a single room only where like crackheads live and
there's
stuff?
a couple bathrooms. It's a house.
Oh, okay.
So, yep.
It makes it sound like that. I mean, how many rooms are in the house? It's a pretty big house.
6, I think.
Like like 3 on the ground and 3 on the second floor?
Yep.
Okay. And the second floor is bigger, I guess?
Second floor is bigger, yep. I got a bigger room up there.
Cool. And so you're planning on getting a TV in there? TVs aren't that expensive now. You can easily get an HD one for not much. I don't think I bought one. I think I bought my 30-inch that I have in here, like, for maybe $200 at the most. I feel like it was like $100 something. Like, it was like nothing. Like, I bought it like one Christmas.
Yeah, I bought a 32-inch recently for like $170.
Yeah, they're really cheap now, so you can get HDs for not that bad. Like, if you, depending on how much room you have, like for this room, like my 30-inch like works perfect. Like, it's just big because I'm not sitting that far away from it, so I don't really need it to be that big, and I can see everything on it. So depends on what you're in the market for. But when I bought it, it was before this whole 4K thing that's happening now, and HDR and all that other nonsense that I don't understand.
That doesn't apply to us Switch people.
Yeah, that doesn't apply to a podcast that talks about, you know, a company that likes to live in the past of TVs and stuff, which is nothing against Nintendo. That's just kind of how they are. I mean, I know we talked about that before.
They'll have 4K in their next system when everything else is 8K.
Yeah, no, probably when everything's 32K, they'll be 4K. I'm kidding. I know it took a while. Like the Wii U was the first HD Nintendo system, and that, you know, we know what happened to that. So I haven't seen a 4K TV, or if I have, I don't really know that it's a 4K TV. I don't know. I don't think there's that much of a difference.
You can tell a difference.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure I've seen them in Best Buy.
If the stuff is recorded in 4K. If it's not, then it doesn't make a difference.
Sure. But yeah, for us Switch owners that don't have PS Pros, it's basically how that is.
Right. I have a PS4, but I don't have a PS4 Pro. I don't have an Xbox One X TRT or whatever it's called, the best one now. All I have is a Switch, and everything else is just 1080p. Everything's 1080p that I have.
Yeah, so that's all you really need. So if you buy any sort of HD TV, you pretty much get it.
Maybe my computer monitor might be higher resolution. I don't know. I don't know about that for sure. I'd have to look.
Yeah, but regardless, you can get a TV for pretty cheap. And you can carry.
You actually get a gaming display,
or you could get one of those. I don't know what are those. Is that like a monitor?
I don't know. It's something I've just heard about recently. I don't know what the difference is.
Is that a fancy way to say you get a monitor?
I guess so.
A gaming display. I mean, my TV's a gaming display. I mean, I just play games on it.
My cell phone's a gaming display.
Well, if you play games on your cell phone.
Your phone has a better resolution than your TV does.
So your ColecoVision, do you have to like hook that up to like the antenna like you would like an Atari, pretty much? We have to like screw it onto the back, like under the whatever?
I have a Switch box from Radio Shack that like it takes the screw on thing and converts it into coax.
Yeah, okay.
So, you know, it's very finicky.
What's your favorite ColecoVision game?
My favorite ColecoVision game?
Elevator Action?
Tapper.
Is that on there? Oh, you have Tapper.
Hands down.
Nice.
I love Tapper.
Yeah.
Is it actually like a licensed Tapper, or is it just Tapper? Like, does it have Coors or Budweiser or whatever in it?
No, it's actually, for the home release, they made it root beer Tapper.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So you're slinging root beer. And
that's what keep them back.
So ColecoVision was our first system, and Tapper might be the first video game I ever played. I don't know.
Wow.
I can remember we had Tapper. We had this game called Dr. Seuss Fix Up Mix Up, which was like one of those image puzzles where you have to slide the squares around to create the image.
Oh yeah, I love those puzzles.
Like Wind Waker. That's what you get at your house.
Yep. We had the Smurfs game. There was 2 Smurfs game on Coleco. I don't remember the name of the one that we had, but we had a Smurfs game. And a couple other things. I know we had a Donkey Kong. And my ColecoVision games I have now, I have Tapper, I have Defender, and I have one more, I can't remember.
Do you have Congo Bongo?
No, I don't have Congo Bongo.
That's a good one.
I gotta get that. But I got my ColecoVision from my brother-in-law. Thank you, Justin, for standing up in his wedding, for being one of the groomsmen.
Oh, cool.
You have to give the groomsmen a gift.
You're such a stand-up guy.
Did they all get systems? Did everybody get systems as gifts? Because that would be great.
I don't know what everybody else got, but I know I got the coolest gift.
I should do that for my wedding. I'll just everyone who stands up gets a system.
That's the guardian of your Miss Pac-Man machine?
Yes, he's guarding my Miss Pac-Man machine. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got all my systems back. Hooray.
So you got...
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah. So you got a SNES, or you got an NES, SNES?
You don't have a Super Nintendo though, right?
I don't have a Super Nintendo. That's the one that I'm missing. But thank you for picking at that sore spot, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Well, I know what you should get then.
I should get a Super Nintendo.
You get an analog NT or Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah, the $200 one.
Yeah, dude.
It's like getting a new system but old and HD.
Spending way more money.
Yeah, you could get a $200 system if you want, or you could get. Well, I mean, what are regular Super Nintendos going for? Probably like $60 now, right? About?
They're not bad. Yeah, 50 to 60.
You should just wait till MGC and see if you can find one there. That's what I would say. Try to find just a regular Super Nintendo. If you want a giant CRT TV, I have one in my living room. If anybody wants it, I'm trying to get rid of it.
If I could get it down here, I would take it.
It's huge. I mean, you'd have to come. Well, it would take a couple people to get it into whatever car you have, but it's big. It's like a 40-inch. It's like a big one.
I could actually fit it into my car.
Yeah.
Maybe I should come up there and get it.
You should, because I don't want it here anymore. But yeah, so you have the NES, you have the ColecoVision, you got 64, right?
I have 64.
64 GameCube.
I have Dreamcast, I have my Game Boy, Game Gear, DS, what else was in there? GameCube, and I think that's it. Oh, Genesis.
Oh, you have a DS in there, but you don't have a 3DS, right?
No, I gotta get a 3DS.
What happened to your 3DS? I remember you were first in line for the 3DS. You bought it way before I did. Like, you bought it with Nintendogs Plus Cats. I remember that. I was like, why did you get that game? I guess there wasn't a whole lot to pick from, but I would have went for Street Fighter 4.
There wasn't a whole lot to pick from at that time. I got Pilot Wings too.
Yeah.
On 3DS.
Yeah, I got that later.
I had to sell it at one point.
Yeah.
I decided not to sell any of the games, but, I had to sell the system at one point. I did have the Ambassador one, so that hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we mentioned that before on here, like how bad of a decision I made with that, where I was like, I don't need the Ambassador one, I'll buy those games later. And they
least you have your
Super
Nintendo.
Yeah, at least I do.
Sorry, John.
I have two Super Nintendos.
I'm being an asshole right now.
Yeah.
No, I got a Genesis back in the day because my friends all had the Super Nintendo. So I wanted to even it out so we could all play each of the games and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the short end of the stick on that one. I like the Genesis, don't get me wrong, but Super Nintendo is better.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it. I told a friend of mine to get it because I felt like Nintendo was betraying us by making a new system and not making NES games anymore. And I don't know if he ever forgave me for that, for telling him to get a Genesis instead of the Super Nintendo. Cause then later I got a Super Nintendo and he was like, oh, I thought you weren't going to get one.
We didn't wrap our heads around the fact that the Genesis came out in 1989, so obviously the Super Nintendo was better. Because it was
going to be better, yeah.
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 We just saw the commercial and saw that Genesis did what Nintendo didn't.
They did, right? and they had a mascot that was way faster
and bluer
and with levels that aren't as fun to play or replayable.
Flash processing,
yeah, and FM synthesizer.
Nintendo ain't doing that.
Yeah,
he had a toot. He was rude. He was crude. He ate pre-chewed food.
It must be nice to have your DS back, though. You could actually take it with you and play it places. Your regular DS, right? Your straight up DS. You have that. You could take it on
you must have been really pressed for space if you couldn't fit a DS in your life.
The tiny one. Well, you never know. I mean, all I see is the corner. That might be all there is in this room.
I don't know.
Could be.
If I had DS, I couldn't store my food.
Well, there was also a time where I wanted to I also wanted to concentrate on some other stuff, so I decided to put the DS away and get some other work done. But now things are moving. So
yeah, you wanted to spend all your time with the PS Vita. That's basically what you wanted.
That's my secret love affair with the PS Vita.
Yeah, you're like, I really want the Vita because I want a back touchpad because nothing's as cool as that, which I think was used in one game.
Hey man, that Gravity
I'm always touching
game
the back of
awesome.
my DS and nothing is happening.
Yeah, well, you can get that game on PS4 now. Gravity Rush. I did play that game on Vita. I think that was the only game I played on Vita for a long time. It was Gravity Rush.
Who had a Vita?
Conan has one. The only reason I want one is for Persona 4 Golden, but that's a different thing. One thing I forgot earlier on our news, Tokitori, do you remember that game?
Yeah.
It's coming out on Friday for the Switch.
Is it the original one that was on the Wii?
Tokitori 2 Plus is what comes out. And it's only $10. So if you wanted to play Tokitori in its Tokitori-ness, you could totally do it for cheap. I bought Tokitori for Wii U. It doesn't really say. I mean, Tokitori 2 Plus, I think, is Tokitori 2 Definitive Edition or whatever.
Right, I think it has the original.
It might have.
It has the original version on it.
It might have the original game on there, but you can.
It was originally a Game Boy Color game, right?
Yeah. Well, the one that I think I have Tokitori 2 on Wii U is the one that I have. But it's like one screen puzzle stuff where you move a chicken around. And it involves eggs and stuff. Mm. I mean, yeah, if you ever wanted to know what Tokitori was, it's only $10.
It's like Stardew Valley, but if you were just the chickens inside the coop while the other guy was sleeping.
I don't think it's as complicated as Stardew Valley, probably.
But I like chicken games that involve wiggling.
Speaking of chickens and wiggling, I I bought Xeodrifter this week for my purchase for the week, which is, basically Metroid. It's basically the game Metroid.
Hyper Light Xeodrifter?
Except for a little bit harder. It's made by Renegade Kid, the same people who did, Chicken Wiggle and Dementium and Mutant Muds and all that.
So would you say it's a Wigglevania?
You could, I guess. I never played Chicken Wiggle, so I don't know what.
It's a classic Wigglevania.
I don't know what is in that game and what would define it as a Wigglevania. But it's definitely a Metvania or a Controidvania. I mean, it has guns in it. No, the game's pretty cool. Like, it drops you in the middle of a level and you just, figure out what to do. Basically, there's 4 different planets you can go to. And you can switch from one to another at any time. And every time you get you basically get an upgrade to your weapon, and you can kind of make your weapon into whatever you want it to be. There's 4 different things you can do. You can make it like a spread weapon, like a wave type weapon, or you could change the size of what you shoot out of your weapon, and you can also like make it go faster. So there's like different stuff you can add to it. So you can kind of like create your own weapon with it like that.
You just alter the projectile however you want it to be.
Yeah, you'll basically get like a weapon upgrade, which is like 1 dot, and then there's like a menu that you go to, and you can put the dot into different attributes that you want for your gun. So if you want your gun to be like super wavy, you put them all in the wave beam. So then it'll like wave and cover the whole screen or something. And if you want it to be the wave and also fast, you can like put a little bit in like how fast it shoots and also make it a little wavy. Like I basically make it wavy, bigger, and like shoot fast. That's basically what I do with it. But you can, but you can like whenever you're fighting a boss, I'll put it all in the speed. So it'll like shoot faster so I can kill the guy quicker. Like stuff like that. So you can totally like alter your weapon. And you jump into the background just like you did in Mutant Muds, which would have been cool for 3DS if I would have got it for 3DS, but I didn't. So it has like a phase shift thing where you can go into the background and move around and then come into the foreground. But I just found this cool website called, How Long to Beat. Is that what it was called? I sent a link to you guys. But you can basically look up like pretty much any game on there, and it'll tell you like what the average time was to beat it. So it's pretty cool. Like if you're ever wondering, like I was like, how long will it take me to beat Skies of Arcadia? You can find it in there. It'll be like, here's the main story. Here's like getting everything. Here's like main story plus a little bit of everything, whatever. They gives you a bunch of different numbers, like depending on how you want to play it or whatever. So
you can like figure out your back catalog for real?
Yeah. No, it's really cool actually. I found
it very useful. If you want to schedule your back catalog, you could.
Yeah, if you want to schedule your back catalog, or if you have a game that you really want to play and you want to know like how long it is, or if you want to know before you buy a game, like whether it's super long, like stuff like the Persona games that are like 100 plus hours, you can know that on there. Which I think it had a Dragon Quest Builders on there also for like 100 plus if you want to do everything on it, like that type of thing. Like if you want to know whether the game is worth the amount of money or whether it's how long it's going to take, you can basically look at that. And it had Xeodrifter in there as 3 hours. So, but I've played it for 3 hours and I haven't beaten it yet. But I think they didn't account like the fact that the thing with Xeodrifter is like save spots are like kind of few and far between. So if you go and collect a bunch of shit, but you don't get back to your ship and save, you lose all that shit that you got. So that's what sucks about it. Like you could play it. So
let's say in 3 hours of playtime if there was no interruption.
If you don't die, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Is what it is. But at least once you get to a boss, you get a checkpoint, but you don't get to save there. You have to beat the boss for it to save. But yeah, they do that sort of thing. So like, at least there's that. But the whole adventure of getting from the boss, from the boss back to your ship or to the boss or whatever is, if you died any time, you might lose all of your power-ups that you got and have to go back and do it. But that makes it the Mummy Demastered of, games or whatever. Dark Souls, whatever you want to call it. I like the
Mummy Demastered of Dark Souls.
We said that before in our previous, I was actually quoting us. That was from our top games of 2017. But yeah, no, it has the same thing where it's basically like you can't just go willy-nilly running through the game. You have to kind of like, you have to like look and see if there's any bad guys in the next room. Otherwise you might get killed and lose all your shit. But there's like some hidden power-ups in the walls and stuff like that you can find that'll refill your life. Anyway, it's totally worth playing. If you like Metroid, it feels a lot like Metroid. And I like it a lot better than Mutant Muds. I bought Mutant Muds for 3DS, and that game was just too hard for me. And this game's hard, but at least you can like build up your character to make it not as hard. So I found it like a lot more approachable in that way, because you can build up your life and all that shit. So I give that a thumbs up or 2 thumbs up for Xeodrifter. It's a short game, but it's $10 and it's totally worth it. I wanted to have it finished by today, but I was not able to finish that fourth planet on there. And there's even even to make it more Metroid-like, there's a little part where like you can only get there after you get all the upgrades. Like the same thing like Metroid 1 where you have to kill Kraid and Ridley to go to the Mother Brain. There's like a similar part like that where it shows the statues. It does the same thing in Super Metroid where you have to kill all the bosses to get to a certain point. But that was my purchase for the week. I know Jeremy's got a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about for sure that I haven't played, and a couple that I have played that you got. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I bought a bunch of shit this week. Still have not bought that Game Boy Micro that I talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Is that still there?
It's still there.
It's still there. It's still there.
Oh, well.
It's yours.
Maybe nobody wants it.
I know. I said I would.
You don't even want it.
Now. And I've gotten my tax return back, and I actually can afford it now. But
Yeah.
I'm still just kind of like, no one's bought it yet. Like,
Maybe there's something wrong with it. Is that what you think, that why it's still there?
no, I just think that no one cares about it but me.
What I
this
think
whole
you
time.
should spend your money on is, I think we should spend your money on is Space Cats with Lasers. Comes out tomorrow. It's $4.99. You can play as a cat. You can shoot stuff with lasers. This is your game for the week, Jeremy.
So, is it a
Do
cat?
the lasers come free with that game, or is it just the cats you got to buy the lasers?
That's what I'm wondering.
I think the cats are
Is it all the
$5.
$5, the cats and the lasers?
Yeah, I think the cats are $5 and the lasers are free. They're DLC.
Oh, got it. Okay, cool.
You have to connect to the internet to download it. So if you buy it physical,
Right.
you
Now I'm on
only
your
get
wavelength.
cats. But that's where you can spend $5 of that $65 on if you want. I just found it on there and we completely didn't mention it. But yeah,
No, I thought about the fact that I spent that much money on other stuff, so I could have had a Game Boy Micro this week instead of the other stuff I bought, but it's still there, so I can still go back and get it eventually.
true that. You could have got a Game
Don't get
Boy.
comfortable with that thought, though. You know,
I
don't
know.
think, it'll always be there.
The moment I want to buy
It's
it,
eternal.
it's gonna be gone.
It's eternal,
It's gonna
like the E3 tickets. It will always be there. Like those 250 E3 tickets that I thought will always be there forever. You could have not got Bayonetta and got that. How is Bayonetta? Have you played
It's
both
true.
of them?
And I did not pick up Bayonetta until Sunday. So
Oh.
I could have picked it up Friday morning, but I didn't pick it up until Sunday.
Oh, geez. So you weren't.
I had a bunch of other stuff going on, and I just didn't want to drive across town and pick it up at Best Buy. But I finally did, and I love it.
Yeah.
So I remember playing through the first Bayonetta on Xbox 360. What year did it come out? 2008, 2009, 2010? I can't remember.
I thought it was 12.
It was before that.
Bayonetta
For
1?
sure. The first Bayonetta, yeah.
I thought it was
definitely before that.
Oh, that was my guess. I thought I looked it up recently because I was trying to figure out how long a time, because Bayonetta
I think
2,
it was 2010.
because 2 was 14, came out in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to figure out how old it was before it was re-released.
Okay, yeah, it came out in January 2010.
2009, Bayonetta.
Yeah, but here in North America.
Oh, yeah.
In
2010.
January 2010.
Okay, I was close. Let's do it.
So that's the last time I played Bayonetta. So I played, first off, I finally picked up the game, but I had to work. So I didn't really get to play it. But I did start downloading Bayonetta because it came with the,
Yeah.
with it.
You
It
have
came
to,
with the code.
you have to
The
get
code
it
worked
after.
fine. I know some people had trouble with the code. The code for me worked fine.
Well, that's good.
And, I got it to download while I was at work. So when I got home that night, Sunday night, it was ready to play. So I ended up playing Bayonetta, just the first Bayonetta that night. And, it's crazy how vividly I remembered the stuff that happened in it. Like, it's got a pretty good story. Like I said, I don't think the story is that important, but it is memorable.
Yeah,
Like,
I was just say, if
I
you
remember
can,
the characters and like the silliness of how everything is. It's very comic booky. And how everything goes. So I played that for a while, but then once I booted up Bayonetta 2 a couple of days ago, that's all I've been playing. I love Bayonetta 2.
yeah. We talked about Bayonetta last week with Ed, and I know we said that it wasn't that sexual, but I played the beginning of Bayonetta because I started playing it on hard mode to try to get all the extra costumes and stuff on Wii U. And the very beginning of the game is super sexual. I mean, she like takes all her clothes off in the very beginning of the game, so it's like, yeah. Like right when in the opening of it, when she starts fighting, she pretty much gets completely naked.
There's a whole lot of zooming in on her, like doing the splits, like zooming in on her crotch.
Yeah, there's a lot of perfect
They do
camera
that.
angles, which
They
we
do that a
did
lot.
mention. Yeah.
But yeah, let me say what I bought this week. So I bought the Bayonetta games. Then I bought Faye because I wanted to try it because it looked artsy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. I like artsy stuff. I've only played that if you go to YouTube, you can see the total amount of time I played.
I watched it.
I talked a little bit more during the video than you see, but my cat muted the audio, like muted my commentary because he jumped on my soundboard. So, so you can't hear me talking for most of the video, and the levels are off anyway. But if you want to see a little bit of me playing that game, it's on there. All right, which game?
No, I was just saying that I watched some of the Fee. It was, you had an hour on there for that.
Never mind, I'm confusing that with Flame in the Flood.
Yeah.
Fee, my audio worked okay. You could hear me, but the audio was still mixed a little bad. But it was, I bought Flame in the Flood. It was half price this week, and I've been talking about that game for several weeks, or several months rather.
Yeah, it was on sale for $7, so you finally
So I finally bought it, yeah. I took the plunge.
Is that soundtrack worth it? The Hot Water Music Guy soundtrack that's on there?
It's moody. It reminds me a little bit of Bastion, the music of Bastion.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a old soul country vibe thing. It's good. And then I bought a Star Fox Assault for the GameCube because supposedly according to the guy I bought my GameCube HD adapter from, Zelda X Pro, I'm getting it next week. Let's see if it actually happens, but
I hope it does.
I've been stocking up on GameCube games ready to show some sweet HD footage when I get my device. So that's another game I bought. How long has it been
since you bought that?
I think I ordered it in.
I feel like it was a long time ago.
It was before I went to Portland.
Yeah.
I think it was in August.
A long time ago.
I think it was August of last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be sitting right around 6 months to 7 months when I finally get it. But if it's like it's supposed to be, it's going to be worth the wait.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people online playing with that GameCube Eon thing, like the bigger one. That's it's not that much bigger, but you have to click it onto the back and it makes the GameCube and HDMI or whatever thing on it. And I felt bad because a lot of people actually got that one. I mean, I know it's one that was released later and it is more expensive, but it seemed like that one was sent out a lot quicker than the one that you ordered. It kind of gumped on right after. Cause
I think they had a bigger, I don't know. They just had somebody funding it initially, so they had a bunch of units ready to go. Whereas the guy I'm buying it off of just made some prototypes, sent them to people to review, and then built as many as he needed.
Yeah,
because of that, he's basically making the exact amount that people are ordering, so they're being made to order.
Mm-hmm. I'll be really interested to see how it ends up going. I tried a little bit of I did some component videos of Skies of Arcadia, but Skies of Arcadia is an earlier release for the GameCube, so it doesn't have progressive scan, so that was only able to be in 480i. Which I believe works the same way on that too. You'll only get 480p out of the ones that have a progressive scan. And does Star Fox Assault have that? I don't remember.
I mean, it cleans up everything. Everything looks better.
Yeah.
But to get the true 480i, it has to be progressive scan. I don't know if Assault does. It was kind of wasn't it a late release?
I want to say that it does. If I was if somebody put a gun to my head and said hey, does Star Fox Assault have a progressive scan?
Because it came out on
answer right, I'd say yes.
04 or 05, didn't it?
Yeah, I would guess that it does. I know that Metroid does. Metroid Prime 1 and 2 does, obviously. And I think maybe Rebels, Rogue Leader, the second one, probably has it. Rebel Assault 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or no, Rogue Leader's the first one, right? What was the other one? What's the one that has the arcade game on it? The sequel to that?
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I have that one, but maybe, that one definitely has progressive scan on it. The second one, but I don't think the first one does. But anyway, we'll find out. Hopefully, I definitely hope you get that next week. Hopefully Monday. Be nice.
Yeah, it'll be next week or the week after. I don't know. I've waited.
They should have it as beginning of the week as you can. Make it as at the beginning. Would be super nice.
But I will say, without a doubt, I played Faye for a while. I had an okay time with it. But you take a really compelling concept like what this game has, and the gameplay has to match that. And this is just a case of the actual gameplay is kind of frustrating. And
yeah, that's what I heard.
Well, it doesn't feel modern. It feels like a game from 15 years ago, as far as the 3D camera control and shit. Mm. And then it's got some novel concepts in the actual gameplay, but yeah, I just couldn't really get into it, and I'm having a hard time. I hear that it gets a little better, but I'm also hearing that I'm a third of the way through it already. So.
Yeah, I heard it was short. I actually looked at it on that How Long to Beat, And Faye is like so new that it's not on there yet because it was just released. So so the whole long to beat thing is basically like, I think it takes an average of what people say it took them to play the game or whatever, and that's how you get it. So it has to have been out for a bit before you can figure that out. But according to IGN, they said it was pretty short, but I think it looks incredibly pretty. Like, I watched the footage that you played of it and I thought it looked really nice. And I guess there's some parts that are kind of like Shadows of the Colossus that's supposed to be fun. I mean, I was really interested in seeing it. I just, I don't know.
It reminds me a little bit of Journey in the sense that it doesn't, explicitly tell you what to do for the most part. You have to figure out what it's telling you by the symbols and everything on the screen.
Oh, okay.
So, it's kind of made in such a way that it doesn't need to be translated, which I like.
Yeah, you don't really...
You still have to figure out what the hell the things mean when it's showing it to you.
Is there a whole lot of...
Which it took me a while to figure out what, like, the singing, like, how that worked.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize you, like, tilted the controller to match a pitch. I thought you were tilting the controller to continuously match the pitch of what was happening. Like, you had to modify the tilting of the controller actively. Turns out you just have to tilt the controller to a certain angle to match the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you have to play it to understand it, but it's a novel concept that I think that doesn't justify a whole game.
I mean, it's because you like unlock different abilities, right? From singing to different things. Is that kind of how it works?
Right. That's how you unlock the Metroidvania aspect of it.
Yeah, that can get you to different stuff. I mean, that's kind of what I gathered from it.
But the map's not exploratory really at all. It's super linear. There's very little backtracking so far that I've noticed. And even if there was backtracking, it doesn't seem like it opens up like wide new areas. It's just like there might be a little shelf that you can get to that you couldn't get to before.
A little shelf.
Yeah.
Have you gotten to do any of like the climbing where you like jump on the trees? Like that looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I got the tree climbing about halfway through my gameplay video that I posted. And even that, like, it looks cool, but it's not, the controls aren't very precise with it.
Well, that's a shame. It looks really pretty, and it was an EA release that's better than FIFA, so, or I mean, at least has like more effort in it than FIFA, so I was hoping for more from it, but.
Yeah, I took a risk, and this is one of those cases. The last time I felt this way about a game that I took a risk with was probably, I'd say.
Color Splash?
No, Ukulele.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I put this there with Ukulele in my.
It's cheaper though.
It seemed novel. It seemed beautiful, and it is novel and it is beautiful, but it's not compelling.
Yeah. Well, at least
IGN gave it a 6.5.
I would give it about a 6 myself if I was giving it.
Yeah, Metacritic 73%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's still positive. It has to be like a 4 to be bad, right?
I don't know if I'll like do recordings of the rest of it, but I do want to try to beat it. I at least want to do that.
I mean, at least it's half the price of Ukulele.
Right.
Ukulele was 40, which
it's a little more stylized.
Yeah, I'd still like to play more of Ukulele. I just hasn't been on my main radar, but I do think about it every once in a while. Think about old Yuka and Lele and how I could return to it. At some point. I want at least...
Shit, I'll throw it in there with Snake Pass too. It's like Snake Pass.
Well, Snake Pass.
Ukulele.
Yeah.
Fair. They're like the trilogy of 3D platform games I wish I loved.
You wish were better. Yeah.
Everything is there that makes them look like they should be great.
Well, Snake Pass I probably won't return to anytime soon, but Ukulele still has, I still kind of want to play it again. I want to get to that casino land and see how terrible it is, and then I can stop playing it forever after that if it's awful. But I do kind of like that one. But there's too much, there's too much stuff to play. There's too many games on the Switch. Can you explain the way Flame in the Flood works? Like how that game is? I know absolutely nothing about it. Yeah,
sure. It's a top-down 3D game. So think of maybe like Animal Crossing, maybe almost, I would say is the way the perspective is, but you can rotate the camera.
Sure.
But it's a survival game with crafting. So you're going from spot to spot. You've got a limited amount of storage space. Like you have a backpack, and then you have a dog with you. Your dog can carry some stuff for you, and then you have a boat, a raft. And the raft has like a big storage area on it. So you have a total amount of space. You can store things, raw materials. You can craft with them, and you can make everything from like types of food to first aid devices like splints and bandages if you get hurt. You have to learn all the crafting recipes, and that's where I'm not there yet. And so the game encourages multiple replays because it's a roguelike. Mm-hmm. I'd say it's a roguelite because you do have checkpoints. I think that makes it a roguelite. But
I don't know the terms.
So there's certain points. okay, so this is the best way to describe it. You start out the game, you see a dead body and the dog, it's like a skeleton, and there's a dog dragging a backpack away from that skeleton. You're like, oh, is this the end of the game, like showed at the beginning? No, that's the beginning of the game where he is stealing a backpack for you. He brings it to you, and you're like this weird, like kind of almost like cubism looking, like I think of like Guernica or like one of the Picasso paintings where like it's just really like super emotional like faces, but they're like super cubist. Like they're 3D, but they're not. That's the character. She looks very cubist, like the main character. And her name's, I think Scout is her actual name. But you get the impression that the whole world is flooded. It's like post-apocalyptic, and all you have is your dog and whatever supplies you can find. And you're trying to travel to the ocean on your raft. So you'll gather all the resources you can in an area, try to heal up and craft, and sleep till it's daytime, hopefully. Then you get in your boat and you go to the next area, and you're just going down to like I think it's a procedurally generated river. I think it's different for each playthrough. And you're traveling down the river, and you go through rapids, and you're avoiding debris. You're trying not to smash your raft, and you can keep stopping at different spots. So you can either stop at places where you can fix your raft and repair the damage, or you can stop off at like campsites where you can sleep and collect resources and stuff and like cook food, or you can stop off at like wilderness areas where you can't camp, but you can gather a shit ton of resources, but there's like wild animals that want to kill you that you have to avoid. And so there's different types of things you can stop at along the way. In the meantime, like it keeps track of how many miles you've traveled and how long you've played and how many days you've played. And so at the very end, like once you die, it'll show you like a map, it'll like zoom out and show like a map of how far you traveled down the river and how many days you survived and how much food you consumed and different stuff like that. So
like Heroes.
I think it's definitely a game that's meant to be played multiple times until you like get a feel for it and like get a perfect play.
So it's kind of like how far can you go? Like it's basically how it works. Kind of like Outrun or like
yeah.
Or I guess that's the only thing I can think of. Did you ever play Outrun, the Sega arcade game?
I didn't. No.
It's a racing game, and it's basically like there's a long map, and you try to get to the end of the race, and it's hard. It gets harder as it goes. But that's kind of what it sounds like.
Makes me think of that Guitar Hero 3 song.
What? Outrun?
No.
Flame
Through
in the
the
Flood?
Fire and Flame.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I keep wanting to call it different things. It's the Flame in the Flood, but I keep wanting to call it the Flame in the Flood or Flaming Through the Flood. Like I keep getting like different names in my head of what it is. But
yeah, I double checked it.
It's the Flame in the Flood.
Yeah,
so think about it as a campfire in the midst of a flood. That's the Flame in the Flood.
Sure. Yeah, because when I texted you guys about that game, I was like, is it the Flame and the Flood or Flame in the Flood? And I actually looked at the YouTube and it was like, oh, it's in the Flood. But yeah, no, it sounds interesting. It's like a survival type thing, and you kind of go from like
it's really interesting, and I only played enough for that recording, but it's got that compelling music by Chuck Ragan of Hot Water Music fame.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like, I think once you learned how to make the recipes, it'd be like Minecraft, where when I first started playing Minecraft, I was just bewildered by everything, but after a while, you understand you gotta punch the trees and get the wood and turn it into planks and sticks and blah, blah, blah. The order of like things to do after a while. I think that I need to get to that point with this game to really enjoy it, because I did barely any crafting the few times I played, like before I died, because like I just felt like I was always racing the clock, and you are racing the clock. But in the meantime, you have to be like making different things. Like I broke my leg because a wild boar attacked me, and I didn't know how to fix my leg. Well, you have to learn how to make a splint. So I didn't have like the materials I needed to fix my leg.
So you have
to think ahead like that. You have to know what to do ahead of time and have all your resources ready to go.
Sounds like a newer version of Oregon Trail or something.
It kind of is. It's like Oregon Trail in Minecraft and Outrun, if that's what you're describing it. It's kind of all those things.
Outrun is awesome. Hopefully, if that's at MGC, you should play it. You can actually get Outrun 3D on 3DS, or if you have Yakuza 0 on PlayStation 4, you can play Outrun in arcades in that game. But no, Outrun's a cool game. But no,
I would say the game's definitely worth $7.50. Like, get it. It's fun. It's something you can come back to from time to time and try to get better at it. I think that's what I'm going to do. And also, the soundtrack is good. The soundtrack's really good.
Is it like it's like one of those things where it's like really hard to get the whole way through, right? Or can you?
I think there's different difficulty levels and you can unlock things. I think it's one of those games that, like I said, encourages multiple plays.
Yeah.
So you just have to sink your teeth into it and just keep going.
Have you made it to an end, or are there multiple ends? Or
I haven't made it to an end yet, but I made it to the third out of the 5 or 6 sections, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it seems like it's supposed to go. I mean, in my mind, it makes it feel like it's like extra hard, and it's the journey. It's more about the journey than the destination, right?
Yeah.
It sounds cool though. Yeah.
And I didn't buy this week, but I thought I should mention it. The Celeste soundtrack is on Spotify.
It is. I bought the soundtrack on iTunes also. I think it's only like $8. You can buy it there, but it's on Spotify as well.
If you have Spotify and you like the music to Celeste, go listen to it.
Is The Flame and the Flood on there also? Have you looked for it?
It is.
Cool. And if you like, I didn't put The Flame and the Flood on there, but if you like indie songs, there was a new WART radio episode that just came out a couple days ago that is made up of my favorite songs from indie games. Celeste is on there, but Flame and the Flood did not make it, unfortunately. But there's 2 hours of indie game songs on there. I tried to be as broad as I could. So there's even stuff like, there's like Xbox exclusives, there's even a mobile exclusive on there. So I try to be pretty crazy with the songs. Plenty of PlayStation 3 exclusive, WiiWare, DSiWare, all sorts of shit on there that you can listen to.
What do you think is the most unexpected game/song that you put on there?
What do you mean? Unexpected in what way?
Like the most, we're talking about indie games, so like, what's the one where somebody's listening, they're gonna go, oh, I can't believe you put that one on there?
Probably the last song, I think. Well, there's a couple on there that might be like, why'd you put that one on there? There's a game called Bit Trip Beat. Did you ever play that game on Wii?
Oh yeah, I played those. Yep.
It's basically like a rhythm game that feels like Pong. It's an awesome game. Like I
remember that one.
Fucking love the hell out of that. And I put the song on there from the first level. And that one was kind of one I put in there for me, just because I really like that game. And at the end of the episode, there's like a 10-minute long song from Orbiant, which is like this. Do you remember the art style games that only came out in Japan? They were Game Boy Advance games. And then they re-released them on the Wii. And they released some on WiiWare, they released some on DSiWare, but Orbiant was my favorite one. You basically play a moon, and there's 2 buttons. You can either like push your gravitational pull away from the planet or towards you, and you basically kind of work through this galaxy and try to get in the orbit of other planets, and you consume other moons to make you larger. And eventually you want to like get a sun like going around you and stuff like that. But once you get more planets orbiting you, the soundtrack kind of changes. So it'll change like depending on what you have, like and how you progressed in the level. And the last song is just basically a mixture of all of those different stuff it'll sound really repetitive, and then it'll change a little bit, and then it'll sound repetitive, then it'll change a little bit. It's kind of like that last song on that what are those guys' fucking name? Remember that indie band?
Agents?
That indie band we used to listen to? Man, I had a good joke there, but I forgot it. Jimmy Eat World. It's like that last song on that Jimmy Eat World album that goes on for like 20 minutes, but it sounds repetitive, but it keeps changing. It's kind of like that. On that one, on Clarity, at the end of Clarity. But yeah, that's probably the weirdest one on there, I guess. That's most bizarre, that's like there to appeal to me, so. But yeah, it was a fun episode. And I did it in the style of Nerd Noise Radio, because I just got to host an episode of that podcast, which we had John Wedgeworth on here from that for our best games of 2017. So go listen to that. Go listen to Nerd Nice Radio and listen to the Trey's Picks episode, and you can hear me on there doing an intro, and you can see my picks of the different songs and all that. It's a fun episode, so give it a listen to. But yeah, if that's all you guys got. Oh wait, I was going to ask you, have you used any of your amiibo for Bayonetta yet?
Oh, good question. So I did want to say, out of all the games I bought this week, Bayonetta 2 is my favorite, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I'm having the most fun with it.
It's a lot of fun.
It's surprising me. It's so much different than the first one.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of extra stuff, so I love it. And yes, I've been using my amiibo. I've been using every amiibo I can, to the point where I even took this guy, the only amiibo you can scan in the box, the Shovel Knight amiibo.
And use that? Yeah.
Yeah, I've used that, but you can't use it with this.
No?
It won't work.
Oh, really?
So I have to switch to the Joy-Cons just long enough to scan this.
Oh, and then it works.
Kind of actually push up into the box with the controller. Just get close enough to his little butt here.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that the only one that you can scan in the box?
Because it's
not made by Nintendo.
Yeah, Yacht Club Games wanted to be able to scan it through the box.
Because the other amiibo you can't, because there's like a there's like a foil thing, a reflective surface under it, so you have to open it to be able to scan it. But they wanted you to be able to collect it and not open it and still use it. So that one, hey, you can actually scan in the box. I don't know.
So that's actually why this Amiibo's right here next to me.
Yeah, because you've been playing it. Did you
Because I've been scanning it every day. You can scan them all once a day. And I also wanted to open these. I haven't, but I want to open these for the extra Halos. That's 3 Amiibo.
Oh yeah, because you get
the Animal Crossing 3-pack.
Yep.
Yeah,
Amiibos.
No one cares about it.
Yeah, I think you bought me that one. I mean, I wanted it for KK. But
yeah, no one cares about those Amiibo. I even looked them up and they're still like not worth nothing, but
yeah, if you go to
I don't want to open them up because I don't care about the other 2.
Oh, about
they
Cyrus
would just be exclusively
and whatever.
for Bayonetta is the only reason I would open them.
Yeah, because if you scan actual Bayonetta, you get all the costumes, right, from Bayonetta 2? Or the ones that you have to unlock? You unlock them all, right?
Yep.
The ones that I was working for to get?
You still have to buy them.
Oh, you still have to buy them. Oh, yeah, and they're like 100,000 or $1 million, or they're a lot, right? Probably.
Yeah, they're expensive. They're 100,000.
Yeah, but if you're trying to like get Halos together, I'm sure you read this online, but just try to keep your combo going for as long as you can. Like that's basically how you get high amounts of Halos for every level. Is my sort of advice for that. So like after you hit somebody, like just use the button to shoot for a while and you can extend your combo. It's basically how you want to keep doing that. And then you can get like 100,000 or above 100,000 per level if you keep that going. So
link the combos by holding the shoot button.
Yeah, that's kind of how I did. It's like to try to get from one to another. Yeah.
Actually, I took all my guns away and put all swords.
Yeah, but you'll still shoot. Like the Y button should still shoot if you hold it.
If you hold it down,
Yeah. So, cause I played a lot of, after last week I played through the first like 6 chapters on hard mode of the Wii U one, just because the game's a lot of fun. I was like, I want to go through it again. So, and I wanted to get all those extra costumes and weapons and stuff, and I did get a couple, but I got I think I got the Peach costume and I got the Star Fox costume also, which is like which is so ridiculous.
I have the Star Fox costume because I have the Star Fox Amiibo.
Yeah, she has the R-Wing guns and they have the little like trinkets hanging under them that's like Fox and then it has like a Falco and Slippy like hanging off her feet and all that. It's like so ridiculous. Like that game is ridiculous but a lot of fun. And if you I know that Ed mentioned that how the ship changes, but it'll actually happen in the first level too. Like cuz I automatically put the Star Fox outfit on because in the new one you get the Star Fox outfit like when you beat the game, and I was going through it again on hard, and when Jean picks you up in her jet, it'll be an R-Wing at the very beginning, so you don't have to get all the way to the end to see the R-Wing, but it's all in there and shit. But yeah, that game's a lot of fun. I'm glad you're having fun with it. You should try that online mode and see if anybody's doing it at some point. The Umbran Crash.
I don't know how far into the game I am, but
what chapter are you on?
7.
Okay, I think there's 15 chapters. Yeah, there's 15 total. Okay.
So I'm like approaching the halfway point, I think.
Yeah, you're about there.
I really just started sinking my teeth into it yesterday.
Yeah, but you'll want to go through and do it on the different difficulties and get the extra stuff. I mean, that's what I've been doing on the Wii U, so I think it's totally worth. I mean,
I haven't been completing all the challenges either, like the little challenges that are in every level.
Yeah, you have to get all those too if you want to get the extra stuff. And it's also like finding them, which Wonderful 101 works like that too. We have to find them and then get decent scores on them. Because some stuff you can only unlock by getting golds or getting like average gold for every chapter, stuff like that. But yeah, it's the type of game that's meant for you to play over and over and over again with New Game Plus and all that, and get better at the combos and get better at dodging and all that fun stuff. It is a lot of fun to play though, and it just like gets ridiculous, more and more and more ridiculous the more you play it. So you got I like it. Got a lot of fun left in that one. You can play it.
It was worth it, yeah. And I'm glad I waited to play it because it's a new game for me. Like, I didn't buy it on the Wii U, and now I get to play it like it's the first time, because it is.
Yeah, you can play it again for the first time. Well, for the first time, but yeah.
And then I'm going to go back and play Bayonetta. I played the first couple of levels, but I was having fun with it, but I do have to agree with Ed that I like Bayonetta's look more.
Yeah, Bayonetta 1 doesn't look that great. It looks super brown. It was in the brown times.
Well, even just the actual style, like Bayonetta's character model, I like her better in 2.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, she does look better. Cool.
I'm enjoying watching your cat trying to tear down your giant one-up mushroom there.
He's kind of pissing me off because I'm like pulling on his tail. On his tail and he's not stopping.
He wants to open that amiibo. He's like, why did you not open the Animal Crossing amiibo? He's like, I'll do it for you with my claws. I'll rip it apart. Cool. Well, that's our show for this week. That's been NIntenDomain episode 109. We are your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
Jereme Mikowski.
John Litter.
And you can find us at NintenDomainPodcast.com. You can find our YouTube videos at youtube.com/Fingmater. That's FINGMATER. Put all our videos there. You can, you can,
really going at it.
You can download us from all of the download places where you find podcasts. Anywhere you can get a podcast, you can find it. Just look for NintenDomain. If you just Google NintenDomain, you will find our shit everywhere. We have completely polluted the internet. It's hard to run from it. So if you try to find NintenDomain, you'll find all of the dumb shit that I put up there that will be ready for you to consume. Anyway, if you like the show, review us on iTunes and subscribe to the YouTube. We only have like 40 subscribers. We still need like 960 more. So, get to subscribing on that. We're doing better than we were before. So, but yeah, and if you want to drop us a line, you can email us at NintenDomainPodcast@gmail.com. And if you're on Twitch, I stream every Thursday and Sunday at, around like 3 or 4. You could catch me at twitch.tv/NintenDomainPodcast. I will have already done the Pac-Man one by now, but you can go back and look at it. It'll be on there. It'll be on YouTube, and you can check more Skies of Arcadia stuff on Sunday and other retro stuff to come. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
See ya.
These roads never end till they reach the water. Lend an ear now, sons and daughters. When you find your way, drift and pull your stakes. We take the mess you made. I don't care where you come from, what your mama taught you. All we are is what we leave behind. These roads never end till they reach the water.
And Chicken Wiggle. That's that stupid game too.
They made Chicken Wiggle?
Yeah.
Yes.